Most archers, families, spectators, and coaches eventually find they need a good pair of binoculars. So I'm going to lead you through the maze of technical jargon and help you select the best pair of binoculars for your purpose, archery. These are several of my own personal pairs, and they're all well suited to this purpose. And in case you don't have time to listen to this whole video and you want to just take my word for it, I'll tell you right up front what you need to get. Then I'll go on and explain the details and how these decisions are made. Buy these. Alpen 10x40, exceptionally good binoculars. Or these, Nikon 10x42, another very good pair of binoculars. Or my personal favorite, these Vortex 12x50s. The first number is the magnification, 10 or 12 here. There's a little room for variation. Get between 8 and 12. That objective lens, that's that large number. I was saying 40, 42, 50. Between 40 and 50 is going to be very acceptable. Another important factor to consider is waterproofing. Any binocular you buy should be fully waterproof and fog-proof. A good pair of binoculars that meets all these requirements is going to cost you between $150 and $250. An occasional internet sale might chase that price down to closer to $100. There's not any reason to go above $250. As far as brands, there are many good ones, but some of my personal ones are here. Vortex, Nikon, Alpen. I also have a pair of Leupold, but I couldn't find them for this video, so trust me, they are very good also. I don't want to imply that these are the only good brands or that they're even the best brands, but I've owned these brands personally and have used them extensively, so I can personally testify to their quality, their usability, and their durability. Most of these are at least 7 or 8 years old. So now let's look at the details and see what we're getting for all this talk. Binoculars such as these are rated in a format such as 10x40. The first number, 10, is referring to the magnification. The 40 is the size of the objective lens. That's this big lens up front that catches all the light. Magnification is, of course, how much larger or closer an object appears. When selecting magnification, you have to balance between maximum magnification versus field of view and stability. As the magnification goes up, the field and stability go down. And a small field of view gives you a small window to look through and may make it an object hard to locate. And it can even cause some confusion over which target you're looking at. Reduced stability makes it hard to handhold without jitteriness. But if you choose too much for stability or field of view, you're going to take a low magnification and the benefit of the binoculars goes down. So a number between 8 and 12 is generally considered very good. 8 is acceptable for indoors and short ranges. But if you're looking for greater distances or if you're standing far back from the shooting line, you're going to want some 10s. 12s are great, but some people find this magnification is too touchy and hard to hold stable without support. The second number in that number, 12x50, is the objective lens size in millimeters. And the objective lens is that large lens up front, and it gathers light up, and that's where it's really important. The larger the lens, the more light it gathers, and the brighter and clearer your image is going to be. The trade-off here is, of course, that a balance between a large lens that collects lots of light and gives very bright and clear image, and binoculars that become too big and cumbersome. However, you can see these are actually not unreasonably sized. If you're outdoors in good light, almost any size objective lens is fine. But if you're indoors in poor lighting, you're going to want the biggest lens you can get. In all cases, though, I always avoid getting compact binoculars where the objective lens may be as small as 20 or 25 millimeters. That's less than an inch. And if the size and weight are that critical and I need a small pair, I can keep them in my pocket, they work, but the image is often dim and at best marginal. In poor lighting, they will be a complete strain to use, especially when I have a high magnification. A good full-size pair of binoculars such as these will always give you a better view. A feature that results from the selection of the magnification and objective lens that affects brightness is the exit pupil. Now that's the measure of how large that column of light is coming out of the eyepiece. The exit pupil is calculated by dividing the objective lens by the magnification. This provides the exit pupil in millimeters. Thus, a 10 by 42 set of binoculars will have an exit pupil of 42 divided by 10, or 4.2 millimeters. The reason this is so important is that the normal eye pupil is typically 2 to 4 millimeters in bright light and 4 to 6 millimeters in dim light. In very dim light, it might be as large as 8 millimeters, but we're not usually shooting in those conditions, so let's not worry about that right now. If the exit pupil of the binoculars is the same size or larger than the eye pupil, we get optimum result. So we want that exit pupil to calculate out at least to the 4 or 5 millimeter range. This means we need to ensure that the objective lens is 4 to 5 times larger than the magnification. So if the magnification is 8, the objective lens should be at least 32, because 32 divided by 8 is 4 millimeters. A bit larger at 40 is perfect. If the magnification is 10, the objective lens should be greater than 40, and as large as 50 is fine. And if the magnification is as high as 12, you're going to want an objective lens of at least 50. A lens larger than that will be quite a large binocular, and you won't find them very often. Equally as important as these numbers is that the binocular is waterproof and fog-proof, as I said earlier. I'm sure we all understand why we need to have waterproof. Archery tournaments are shot in all kinds of weather, and you will eventually find yourself in the rain. But fog-proof is even more important because it can come into play in almost any time at any event, whether indoors or out. Fog-proof refers to preventing condensation on the insides of the lenses. That's inside the lenses. You can't wipe it off. And once that inside is fogged, your binoculars are out for the day, possibly longer. Fog-proof optics are sealed and purged with nitrogen or another inert gas, so there's no moisture inside the binocular, so internal condensation cannot occur. Without fog-proofing, lenses can fog up even at indoor events when going between rooms at different temperatures. And people who wear eyeglasses know exactly how annoying this can be. Outdoors, even on clear days, vapors from your sweat can get inside and cause fogging. I live in Florida, and this is a common problem with non-fog-proof optics on a hot, sweaty day. The final thing I want to discuss is the construction. There are two types, poro prism and roof prism. Poro prism binoculars are the traditional-looking binoculars. The eyepiece is not in line with the objective lens. They step out and they get that big, bulky outer piece. They are generally larger. They're both very good, but poro prism binoculars are generally bulkier than the equivalent roof prism binoculars. Roof prism binoculars are typically a little more expensive, on the other hand, for the equivalent quality optics. This is because there are more internal reflections on a roof prism, and this causes some loss light, so you need better lenses and prisms inside them. On the other hand, roof prism binoculars are easier to seal and make waterproof, since there are fewer seams and joints. All the mechanisms here are on the inside of the binocular. Notice how when I focus, you don't see movement outside the binocular. So I don't have a moving moving joint to seal. Consequently, these will maintain as waterproof and fog-proof for years, whereas your poro prisms generally wear out a little quicker and will lose that fog-proofing capability within a few years of use. So as you can see, binocular choice has some critical factors to consider. But if you stay with my recommendations, you're going to be very satisfied. So let's summarize what those recommendations are again, so we can get exactly what you need. Keep the magnification between 8 and 12, the most common being 10. Select the objective lens between 40 and 50 millimeters. It's critical that the binoculars be waterproof and fog-proof. And finally, poro prism versus roof prism, they're both good choices. I prefer roof prism because they're leaner, sleeker looking, and a little more compact. As long as you select within those appropriate ranges, and as long as you ensure that they're waterproof and fog-proof, you're going to have a binocular that's going to last you for many years. Thank you for listening.